Hi guys, come along and join on this day of a bake with me. I have 3 delicious and easy budget-friendly recipes that I will be sharing. The first 2 are tried and true recipes that my family and I have on rotation all the time, and the third recipe was a new one for me, but it will be added to our rotation. It was a favorite of mine and my husband's. This first one that I will be making are the best, and I mean the best, baker style blueberry muffins that you will ever have. They are delicious. You can use fresh or frozen blueberries. I got these blueberries on sale. It was in my previous video of my grocery haul. I found them at my local Winco for $1.89 for a giant package of them. So I bought 2. One went straight into my freezer for baking or smoothies, and then this one was in my fridge and I needed to use it up. So I am making blueberry baker style muffins. These are so good. I got asked by a friend the other day because she knows I bake all our bread homemade and we don't buy bread. I sometimes buy hot dog buns or hamburger buns on occasion, but I am a person just loves to have homemade stuff on hand, so I know the ingredients and exactly what's in it. But she asked me, well, I can just buy, like, for example, these blueberry muffins. And I was like, oh, you totally can. And I know in a moment, like when you need something fast and you don't even have time, buying things are great for the convenience. But in this recipe, I am doubling it. So the recipe makes a dozen, but I am making 24 muffins because I like to have them as quick breakfasts. And actually, my kids eat them for a snack. So I made them this day, and more than half of them were gone. I know this was in the afternoon when I started this recipe, so my kids got that afternoon snack and they just smelled delicious warm blueberry muffins and just came for them. But the next day they had them for breakfast, and I actually got to eat one because my husband and I are doing kind of low carb, watching what we're eating to lose a little bit of that weight and be a little healthier. And so I couldn't even eat these the day I made them. They looked and smelled so delicious, but I ate one the next day and they were, I will say, one of the best I've ever had. And if you don't like day old bread or day old muffins, you can pop them in your microwave or toaster oven or even your air fryer for under a minute, and it will taste just like it came out of the oven, nice and warm. Especially the toaster oven and air fryer will give them that slight crisp on top. The microwave's okay, you can warm something up to get it a little soft, but it works for any baked good. So give that a try if you're not a person that likes day, or your kids don't like day old stuff. And I forgot to say, these have a crumb topping, which is what I'm working on next. And the crumb topping, I just feel like takes it to the next level. I mean, who doesn't want, there's butter, flour, sugar, and a little bit of cinnamon, just this little crunchy crumble on top. But that's the bakery style, and I feel like it looks pretty too, especially if you have guests over to make these muffins, and it looks, I feel like, a big wow. So once you have them made, I will set aside the crumb topping and I will bake them. As you can see, I have 2 pans because this recipe will make a dozen. And you can use silicone molds if you want, but this is what I have on hand. I don't go out of my way to purchase anything new for recipes, but one day I would like to just have the silicone molds to make my baking easier and not have to buy these little paper wrappers and dispose of them all the time. But this is what we have, so we're working with it. And if you do have the silicone molds, let me know how the recipe turns out. I have had like a small silicone mold and I made stuff in it, but I felt like they were kind of hard to clean. So let me know what you prefer. But I divide these up between both pans and I fill them about 3/4 of the way. I don't like the muffins that just like barely pop over the muffin liner. I love like it really over the muffin liner, like a gourmet big muffin. So this was a perfect amount for 2 dozen. and yeah, they were delicious. And then for the crumb topping, I think the recipe says like spoon them over, but I like to grab the crumb topping and crumble it in my hands over the muffins so that it's kind of broken up in every crevice of the top. I have baked muffins that I just kind of set them on top and they had giant crumbs. So when I took them out of the pan to cool on the rack, those giant crumbs kind of just fell off. And of course, we, ate them, but they kind of fell off the muffins. So I do advise just crumbling them up. And then you bake them at 400 for this recipe. I believe it was 20 minutes and they came out perfect. And the second recipe I am making is an apple crisp. I canned up so much apple pie filling this last fall of 2023 when I get my apple order in. And I do have 2 apple trees in my yard, a giant one, but it is not producing as much. So I am going to be heavily trimming that this spring to see if that helps with my apple production. But yeah, I canned up a lot because I canned up the year before in 2020 or 2022, and we ran out like after the holidays, like, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the time you're bringing pie or crisps over to gatherings. I just ran out. So this last year I like doubled it, and I have so much still, which is nice because it will last me through the summer because apples obviously are not in season till the fall. So I think I'm on track to have my year supply of them, but I wanted to make one. It just sounded so good, and my kids love when we make apple crisp. I think they prefer apple crisp over apple pie. You guys will have to let me know in the comments which one you guys prefer. But it made it so easy because I just had to make the crisp topping, brown sugar, oats, flour, and butter, and then dump my jar in and just crumble the topping right over the apple crisp and bake it. It is so good right out of the oven with some vanilla ice cream. Or if you're dairy free like me, sometimes with ice cream, the coconut ice cream is delicious with it. And here they are. They are so good. And as you can see, that is not 2 dozens worth of muffins. My kids just gobbled them up. And this third and final recipe is air fryer donut holes. I saw this recipe and it caught my eye. I can't even remember where I saw it. I just remember writing down measurements of ingredients, and so I kind of added my own twist and added I got certain brands of ingredients to try, but it's just self-rising flour, which if you don't have that, it's just regular flour with 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder inside the flour, and then a protein powder. This is cachava. It's the one my family likes. We keep on hand and in our food storage. It has like all the superfoods and all the fruits and vegetables you can think of, like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, seeds like chia seeds, flaxseed, just everything in it. But it does not taste like it has all those in there. But you add that in, and we are making chocolate donut holes. So I use the chocolate flavor, but you're welcome to use any flavoring of protein powder you want. And you measure that out, and then you will add, for chocolate ones, you add some cocoa powder or cacao powder, whatever you have on hand. They both work. This is what gives them that really dark chocolate look and taste. So I did feel like I did taste the dough before I cooked it and put the glaze on, and it was quite dark chocolate. So if you like dark chocolate flavoring, kind of that bitter, you will like these. And then the sweetener in it is, I used monk fruit. They just said to use a 0-calorie sweetener of your choice. So it's just 8 grams in here. There's like no sugar other than the sweet sugar and the glaze that you put on top of each donut. But that was it. Just those 3 dry ingredients, actually 4 if you count the monk fruit, and then the wet component in it is just Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. You can use full fat, 0 fat, whatever one you want. and it was 280 grams of Greek yogurt. I remember when I first measured it out, I did like 180, and I was mixing it up, and I was like, this looks so dry. And so then I was like, oh, I did 180 and not 280. So 280 grams of Greek yogurt. And then you're going to mix it all up. I ended up using my hands just because it was hard to get it all in. I will say I think putting it all in the food processor would probably be your best option to just let it blend and get all the dough mixed up. And then once you have the dough all combined well, you are going to chill it in the refrigerator. I only chilled it for about an hour, but most recipes I know when you chill things, they say for like 2 hours or overnight, but an hour was perfectly fine because I was just so excited to try it. I just kept checking it. So once it's done, you roll the dough out on with a little bit of flour and get it to be, I think the measurement I did is about a half an inch thick. So it's quite thin, and you feel like it won't be for like donut making, but it all ends up working out. In the air fryer, you cook it for 350 for 5 minutes. You guys, 5 minutes and you have cake donut holes. It was so amazing. I was so excited to try it because I was like, what? I can like just keep this dough in the refrigerator and pull some out and make donuts in 5 minutes. So, and I used an extra large medicine container, I guess is what it was. And I think the recipe, I remember that it was slightly bigger, but it's supposed to be like only 17 calories per donut hole. I think mine are smaller, so they're probably more like 10 calories per donut hole. But you roll them up into balls, your little discs, and put them in your air fryer. I have a kasori and it's sitting on a different counter, so you'll see me go over there and I'll put it in, and it they puff up. You don't think they would, but they puff up. It's so cute. And I spray mine with avocado spray. I know if there are some out there that if you have olive oil or if you use those seed oils or anything else, just lightly oil them, and then put them in your air fryer at 350 for 5 minutes. So just give it a try. And once they come out, like it shocked me. I was like, oh, they're so puffy. And they're hot though. You could see in the video, I start glazing them, which I just used powdered sugar and almond milk. And I just was so excited to try them, you guys. I have been wanting to try this recipe for a while, so I was so excited when I was doing a baking video, and I popped one in, and they are kind of, if you eat them hot, they're kind of more chewy in the middle, but if you let them cool completely, because I ended up making all these, they get way more cake texture like in the middle. So maybe if you like that, let them wait and not be impatient like me. I also, you can see my glaze, I felt like it was kind of thin, so after these next ones I end up just mixing a little bit more powdered sugar in, because it's just basically puddling on the plate, just to make them thicker and coat the donuts better. See, I'm trying one. I just couldn't wait. I was like, I'm gonna wait till I make all these, but they were so good. Even my husband, who I feel like he's more of a treat, not picky. He's actually not picky at all, but he just kind of rates them, and he actually really loved these. My kids did too. My daughter could not stop eating them. As you can see, the glaze coats them a little bit more evenly, and you're supposed to let them cool and then store them in an airtight container. And but these donuts were gone in one day. I believe it made like 60 donut holes, you guys, with 10 calorie per donut hole, and with it being 5 ingredients and it cooking in 5 minutes. So this will definitely be in my rotation. Let me know out of these 3 recipes, which one would you make and which one was your favorite?